influencers, coupons, and co-branding.
So nice seeing everybody here. Thank you very much. Let's try to get to some nitty-gritty stuff. I mean, I think what you guys want to hear is something that you can really learn from, not the type of things that are just general opinion. So we have two experts around the table that basically have an idea on, what it takes in order to be, successful in this particular space and to really start talking about what it means and what it, how you need to go about it in order to really make an impact. So maybe an introduction first. My name is Harmen Brenninkmeijer. I basically represent about, I think it's 45 plus companies within the iGaming, land-based and lottery space. We have a sales network across the world and basically built an ecosystem with a lot of operators that tries to find solutions to, let's say, pain points that they have. We're taking the company public in the next couple of months, and we have some exciting announcements to make, on the back of that going forward. But that's enough about me. Dan, please.
Yes, nice to meet you. My name is Danylo. I'm a CBDO in Traffic Devils, so we're just the biggest in-house media buying company in Eastern Europe. We have a lot of partners all over the world, and of course, one of our traffic source just now, it's influence traffic as well, so we can share our retrospectives and our experience with influence traffic.
Hi everyone. First of all, thank you a lot for the panelists. It looks like we have a nice group here and diversified one. My name is Katsis. I have been an entrepreneur in the legal sphere the last 25 years. I have used methods of advertising and campaign strategies in mainly three businesses, being the law business, the restaurant business, which I was having a restaurant business with 22 restaurants until 2022 that I exited. And I've used also these kind of strategies in my real estate business. Additionally, from 1st of July 2024, I have been elected as the deputy mayor of Limassol. So I believe I know the kind of aspect from business and also from political level as well, how we use these strategies in order to win the election. So I believe I have a multi-dimensional view of the subject matter, if I may say.
Okay, let's talk about some examples. Let's be very practical here. So what is, for example, one of your better campaigns that you say you're really proud of that did something completely different than what, for example, the community was used to, or let's say the people that you were targeting?
I will start with the campaign that we did with the elections, because I believe the hardcore of the strategies there is the same and you need to apply it everywhere. And coming from myself, I was never a politician. So what we tried to do was the market awareness. We tried to make politics as if it was business. So how we started to build this was from attacking in all aspects, from billboards, social media, marketing in terms of sponsor ads, and also using opinion leaders and influencers to spread our ideas, what we plan to do and what we plan to achieve. I believe the strategy that we used was multidimensional in the sense that we didn't focus only in one area. And what we used effectively was data, what the people liked, and then adjusted our strategy effectively to attack in all kind of aspects and in all kind of voters.
Okay, I'm going to come back to that because that basically means, okay, let me hold this question for 1 second. Dan, you want to talk about what you consider to be one of your better campaigns?
I think that's the last one election in the United States is just like the good example of influencers. Yeah, exactly. So in case of our niche, yes, in case of our company, the influence traffic is just like not only about new customers, yes, for brands. It's also about brand awareness. It's also about some branding and other other benefits that brands could receive from this. So it's like not only traffic, it's about brand awareness, it's about some reputation sometimes. Otherwise, as we see, a lot of brands using just famous person as
Right.
like brand something else.
So what is one campaign that you say we did something and we got a fantastic result that you're very proud of?
Yeah, in case of results, it's just our last results with our partners when we just set up a big list of influencers for our partner
Right.
and bring in like hundreds and hundreds new customers for brand. So this
Okay.
is our results like we have as well. So it's just quality traffic and firstly, secondly, just new customers. Thirdly, just like about brand awareness for brand because it's promoting on social media as well.
Right, but how do we avoid? You know, it's one thing when you drive traffic to, let's say, a site. Okay, that's clear. But how do you avoid when we start talking about, you know, let's say the political area, that we become too superficial? How do we avoid that you don't go in depth enough that as a result people don't really know which choices they're making?
In my opinion, everything starts, you need to start from the very beginning, which is what data you have, what you said. You need to analyze voters and society. You need to analyze what you want. And based on what you see that they want, you need to adjust either your strategy, either your political campaign. But coming back to your question about superficial, which is very important, in my opinion, modern societies, and I don't know how this will be heard, like to be a bit superficial and a bit in the middle. I believe from the data analysis that we got, societies move more towards a center approach, not extremism, either towards the one edge or towards the other edge. So I believe the strategy, there is no Bible on what strategy you need to follow. You need to see firstly what is the audience, who are you going to face, and then adjust your strategy accordingly. And I will say this also from a business perspective. When I was driving my restaurant business, at one point we had around 25 coffee shops. It wasn't an absolute decision that we are going to go with this or that way. We needed to see who are the opponents, which market we are trying to attract, which kind of people we want to attract, and then go ballistic with our strategy. So, for example, using influencers, we used influencers that we wanted for our category of people, which were from 18 until 25. Or we didn't extensively use the coupon strategy because we believe that the product, what you said, the brand needs to develop, not so much going into discounts or into buy one get one free model, but more develop on the brand that we serve the best quality, so you need to come to us because of the quality.
Yeah, but for the sites that's quite difficult because, you know, when you start looking at the sites that a lot of us target in order to basically drive traffic to the sites, most of it is basically done by end coupons, discounts, bonuses. How do we avoid that? How do we get around that and basically start using the influencers much better in order to, you know, not discount our brand?
I think so. It depends on quality of the influencer, how this influencer can work with audience, what keywords every influencer use for audience in promoting, what goals you are looking for in this case. So it's in any case it depends on every influencer as well. Why? Because you need to make your brand and you need to make your just this promotion strategy very good. So you need to use equality sources, equality influencers, and you need to, in case of data, as you mentioned, it's important to compare every case. You need to, on our side, on our niche, we're collecting all data that we receive from our partners to understand which strategy is working best for us, firstly. Secondly, we can understand which influencers are the best one and which influencers are not good in case of this promotion or in case of this advertisement campaigns. So I think so.
But you must have had some experiences where, let's say, influencers show one face and suddenly it turns out completely differently. I can only imagine.
Exactly. And you know, just when you work with influencers, it's sometimes it's very not sustainable negotiations with them. They want to just, they could say for you, no, okay, we will not do it, yes, but you have a partner and you have some kind of tasks from your partner, how to promote it. So this is just the main thing, as I can say. So that just like it's not sustainable in communications, and different phases, as you mentioned, different results could be. But on site, when you just choose influencers, of course we receive feedbacks. Yes, we collecting this data and we try to make the best results. Of the reason we need to work with them and we need to describe how to give the best result for your partner. So just in this case, you can avoid the things that you mentioned, like discounts, bonuses as well. And of course, I think that every brand need to understand that these people who are always looking for discounts, coupons, or something else, it will be in 100% in every campaign.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I may add, because I tend to agree with what you say, especially on the area of how to build a brand. And I want to speak now under my capacity as a lawyer. I always like to differentiate myself from the rest in the area of quality, how you develop yourself as being a market leader. And the idea there is that you don't come to us because we are cheap, or you don't come to us because we will offer you discount or we will offer you good rates. You come to us because you will get the best possible service. And in my opinion, what my advice to people is always work on the identity of your brand, who you are, how good you are, and how strong you promote this brand, in my humble point of view. Because whatever happens, if your brand is synonymous with something, then you do have a brand. Sometimes you spend, and effectively nobody knows who you are. And I face this. I need to say also that we had failures in life. And I will say a failure that I had, and I always say this, which was on the restaurant business when we tried to develop something which was an all-day concept in 3 restaurants, and it proved to be dramatic in terms of results because we never built a brand. The idea of doing pretty much everything was not the correct one. So the brand is effectively an identification of who you are. You build who you are, and then you develop. That's my view.
Yeah, go ahead.
Small, just from my side, small point, and it's important to use this brand strategy with influence traffic as well. Yes, so because every brand, I believe so, have some points why customers need to choose this brand as well. So in your influence campaigns, just it's like about not only about new customers, it's also about brand awareness. It's important to translate the thing that brands looking for, yes, that brands want to represent, yes, like quality of service, quality.
But in all honesty, if I go around the world, let's talk about the biggest brands in the world. It's Coca-Cola. Where does it really stand for, right? I mean, it's a fizzy drink. It's something that people like. It's by now we know it so well. So as a result, it doesn't need that vision anymore, etc. But when you establish yourself, it's almost impossible to basically say, where do I stand for? Where do you stand for, right? I mean, we can talk about we're all here at Sigma. Where does Sigma stand for, right? It's almost anywhere you go, where does it stand for? It is really, really complicated. So what is your advice in that particular direction?
I think it's when we talk about brands, it's important to share information about quality, about sustainability, about safety of using this brand or other brand. And of course, you can just implement in your influence strategy in case of your influence advertising campaigns, all things that you want to add, yes, about safety, about power of this brand. You can take your vision in your influence campaign to translate for your future customers as well. And I agree with you. I think that's like the main point that brands need to use in case of influence traffic. When I thinking about conference, first let's think about Sigma as well. Yes, when I think about some brands, I believe so. That's like for every partner who looking for good influence strategy, he need to just create some connections, yes, between their brand and between just like the customers. So like when I'm thinking about some brand, I need to understand, okay, if I want to do something, I need to go here first. So it's just kind of connection. Like I think about conference, I will think about Sigma as well. So for every brand, in case of this marketing campaigns, it's important to include it in your influence speech or something else.
Exactly, but influencers by nature are their own brand. So how do you combine your brand and the influencer's brand?
What I would like to say is that an influencer, you know, is not good for all things. We don't choose one influencer for everything. So in the kind of business entrepreneurs that I was involved, I was trying to use influencers that they were ideal for this concept. I will tell you a very small example. In the political campaign that I did recently, I made my strategy and I chose an influencer that didn't have, I had option to work with guys that they had huge number of followers. But I chose someone which was ideal for the district, ideal for the city, and it had maybe 10 times less than followers than the other guys that approached me. And we need to check effectively which audience this influencer is applicable. There are guys that they are not ideal, let's say, for everything. I was approached by a girl during my campaign, and half of her followers were scammers from, I don't know, all over the world.
Right.
So, you know, you need to make a good selection, in my opinion.
Exactly, and the influencers didn't turn against you when you declined them. They did not say like, okay, because that's another issue, right? There's a lot of, let's say, emotion involved, right?
But coming again on the issue of influencers, I believe that as a tool, they can be super cool and good if you choose the right person for the right campaign. Recently, we are starting a new campaign now, which is going to be with real estate projects that we are trying to do here in Dubai and in Cyprus. And the people that we scrutinize are people effectively that they have an audience in this area, that they are people that they have done this in the past, they have experience within this area, and what you said before, they themselves are the brand. So you need to adjust your brand in their brand in order to be in a position to sell.
Just the main point, not only to choose correct influence, it's important to choose correct funnel for this influencer, as well correct source. So it just not only a selection of the influence, because different channels and different sources working for the different audience, and every brand has just a different target audience as well. So you need to choose the best option for your partner in case of influencer, firstly. Secondly, you need to choose the best source, the best channel for promoting it as well.
So let's end up with the KPIs. What are the really key KPIs related to, let's say, it's clear that you far less, you know, about, let's say, the value inequality, going with coupons, going with discounts, etc. However, it works for quite a few people, so you can't completely discount it. So the whole issue is, what are the KPIs that you're going to go after that basically, you know, make you determine in which direction you're going to go and why?
For my case, in whatever I've done in my life, I start with two things. First of all, myself. What do I want to do? So the first question is coming to me, what am I capable to promote? And then when I adjust my idea, what business idea I have, I try to look on, for me, the fundamental thing of our era, data. I come again to data because I believe data is everything. Checking market, checking what the market needs, what the market wants, and what the market will look in this area that I will invest, whether it is business, social, politics, whatever, what the market will look in 3, 4, 5 years. And then, depending on my findings, I make the strategy accordingly. I like firstly to work on the ground and then adjust myself.
agree with everything as well. Just one point, because we have like a different retrospective. From our side, it's important to understand what the brand needs, because in your case, it's just different with us, and we try to connect influencer with brand. So for us, it's important to understand what exactly brands want from this, what target audience, what quality, and maybe different categories of the brands and things that customer can do. So that's like the thing, not, of course, understand market as well and understand your partner as well.
Time is up. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the panelists and the audience. Thank you very much for listening to us. And if you have any further questions, please approach us individually. Thank you.
Thank you so much.